Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's grow a garden together.
Yay!
But if you're indoors for the coronavirus and you may not have access to garden growing things, let's play a gardening game together.
There's not actually a lot of gardening going on.
There's really
This
not.
is really weird.
In
Lily's
this
garden,
case,
which is to say Lily's
let's say
sort of weird,
the
high
food
class.
stuff all grows and takes care of itself, has no weeding, never needs harvested. Like, she is a warlock to the highest degree. Like,
Yes.
all of it just sits here, perfectly ready, perfectly ripe, and undisturbed until she's ready to come and use it.
Yeah, pretty much.
All
We also laughed
year
because
round.
you guys.
There's a tree.
There's
in
a
the greenhouse.
banana tree
In the greenhouse.
in the greenhouse, just randomly in the middle of.
Like right here. Like, there's
It's
just
so
a banana
bad.
tree. A whole palm tree growing all the way up to the roof up here. Like, it is amazing. Like, you got a banana tree just growing. And it's growing straight out of the tile, which is impressive too.
Yep, that's what I was just like, it's
we
just
didn't
like-
even bother to, like, cut a
till
hole in the
anything
floor.
or do
Or, like,
anything.
make a pot for it.
Nope.
Like, that's it.
Nope, just burn. Ooh,
Pardon me?
bless.
Anyway, onward we go. To do it. Fix the
I
garage.
love how you're just watching. You're like, I'm sneezing.
I'm gonna yell through this sneeze.
Gotta fix this roof. Hey, Karen, can you get me the sledgehammer from the tool shed?
Fixes everything with sledgehammer.
Sure thing, Dad.
This one's gonna be Scandal talking
Hey!
to themselves. It'll be great.
One fixed garage roof later, unless this goes by really shortly.
Oh, God.
Because remember how last time you were like, we're gonna spend forever talking to ourselves when we were doing the Easter event.
And then it didn't
guess what
happen at
happened?
all.
You talked to yourself for
For
like,
an ass long time, and then your scene was tiny.
I had like 2 sections. It was weird.
Yeah, like it was it was unbalanced.
Uh-huh. There. I got it. I
Ah.
hit the button too. It's not going. Thank you, please.
Here we go.
Please, Grandma. It's so cool. Does it run, Dad?
I don't care about your roof.
Nah, not yet, Munchkin. I
And
thought you said you'd gotten it What? I should probably repaint it. Doesn't have to be this color anyway.
Additionally, my garage door doesn't actually open all the way, so I can't get it out of there. It's
It
fine.
is really literally just gonna be that.
It's gonna
And
be
they're
that the
gonna
whole
tell them-
time. I guess that's
No, I'm
the
like,
end
I
of
have-
it. I just forever.
Oh my God! I said go. Thank
Build
you.
a scrapyard fence. Okay.
Oh, so the wall
To
it
fence
in.
in the
Yeah.
scrap. All right.
Better get this fence up. I think I have some boards in the tool shed.
All right. Is this the tool shed? Because like
one fence later.
one fence later,
Aye.
That's an interesting choice.
Now that's more gentrified.
On the other hand, they did make it a little bit like crooked and like giant nails.
I think somebody.
It's supposed to be a little bit shabbier looking. Huh?
No, I think that's an art mistake.
The
see
angling
how,
of the fence?
like, see how the shadows are? Like, that's on purpose. Because that's like, is that supposed to be a hill? Because that's not. Because
Okay.
it's also like on top of the plant.
It is
That's
on
an
top.
accident.
But it does feel like the front ones next to the gate are tipped sideways.
Yeah.
And I
like,
think
No.
That's
Like,
probably
I was
because of the
actually
ground,
thinking these
isn't it?
ones are tipped, so they tipped like this, and these ones are dead on straight. So this one's followed the correct line of sight. This is actually suddenly gone off on a different
then it makes
angle.
them look
see how
wild.
it doesn't even match the house? Oops, shit, sorry.
Aye.
How come you had to put a fence there? Whatever that said, I apologize. I had my hand
right.
over it for most of it. Well, we need to keep out the coyotes.
Aye. Really?
What?
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 Aye.
Yeah, coyotes, bears, wolves, bobcats, mountain lions, bears.
You also need to keep out,
Bears.
Goldilocks, and we need to keep out Dorothy, and the bears.
Toto.
Toto. And
Stealing-
Kansas. We need to keep out all of Kansas.
Stealing your scrap metal.
Yes.
There's only one thing this fence cannot keep out. What? Zombies?
Ah.
Not if we put flowers up.
Yay.
The
Wow.
tickle monster!
Oh, God.
Is this really supposed to be that he is like completely disconnected from his kid? Like, he sounds like he was the most absentee, not available. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm really kind of irritated going, they really are just like, Luke is stupid.
That is what I'm
Luke
feeling
is
more and
inept.
more.
Luke is incapable. Luke cannot read the room, as it were, which is really stupid because if you, like, for me, I find it to be stupid and unintelligent of going, like, you're insisting that people have high communication skills when you've never tried to communicate with them at all. Again, that thing that makes me kind of angry about Rachel's comment of going, like, I just learned to not talk because
I just need to not say anything, otherwise they won't talk about it. But I'm also like, if he's going to seem this tone deaf, when have they ever established a culture of talking about things together? And are we really indicating that he hasn't seen his kid for years?
Right?
instead of, really recently right now, like if they've been going through a complicated divorce for like 3 or 4 years where he hasn't seen his kid during that whole time and he's been stressed out and anxious about it, like what is the standard thing here? What are we trying to learn here?
I'm like, honestly, even when I was
Or are we
9, I
literally-
liked it when my dad would play around and do stupid crap like that.
Are
like,
we- yeah.
stupid. And I say stupid loosely. This is more just made like jokey, like ridiculous or silly or over the top.
On
kind
the
of
other
stuff.
hand, it could be like the silly isn't fun because it's too personal because we don't know each other that well anymore.
Right?
Going, I need a timeline here to understand his behavior, unless what we're literally saying is Luke is crap at understanding his own kid. He is not
Why
able
was
to
he
maintain
ever a
interest
parent?
or connection, and he couldn't not be a parent after he decided to be a parent and found out it was a poor fit.
I'm also just like, why did Rachel ever have a kid with him?
Maybe he seemed more responsible at that time, or maybe she didn't know either. Maybe they really just thought that's what you do. You get
I'm
married
like-
and you have a kid, and neither of them really knew anything about it. Of course, you
Which is
need
what a lot of
diapers,
us-
and you send them to school, and you give them friends. That's parenting.
And in a lot of cases, actually, people talk about how babies are sort of this weird, like, commodity. Like, I've proven that I've made it or I've done it, or babies are like this symbol
They're
of
a
success.
social currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a baby isn't a person, that's a social currency.
Which is why people
going,
are
I
always
have
like,
done the right thing.
I hate it that my child is growing up because I can't carry them around anymore, because I can't just move them whenever I want them to. Like, I've heard people deliberately, like, on Facebook and other places, whine and complain that their, like, infant is no longer an infant.
Because it was so good when they had a baby, and everybody wanted to talk to and see their baby, and it was so cute, and their baby's just, now becoming not a baby.
We have such a weird, like, fetishization of babies. It creeps
And the
me out.
value of babies, if I have done my job as a woman, as a dad, as an adult, as a man, as a person.
As an individual who had a womb and I had a child, or whatever position you happen to take.
We're going, I did the thing of you're supposed to grow up, get married, and have a kid, and I did it.
Yay! Social currency. That's real funny, Dad. Real funny. If I were like 4 years old, ugh. I'm also like, there are some 9-year-olds who still find that to be funny as shit.
They really do,
I'm
actually.
like, I can't decide if I want to be like, Karen, you are the most unfun. So I'm kind of like,
you are not fun. I would say, on the other hand,
But also,
again,
they're
if she's
really-
going, there could be ways to interpret her as going, one, I'm trying to punish you for not being available, even if I don't mean to be explicitly. I'm showing you that we're distant from each other because I'm emotionally hurt.
yeah.
Or two, it can be we have been not around each other for so long, even though I'm desperate to see you, I cannot relate to you. Going,
Yeah.
Dad, this isn't who I am.
Right.
Like, she might be only the most unfun in this case, and if he had a trampoline, she'd think he was baller.
I think
like, you
also,
don't know.
right, there's also another thing too where I'm like, I think the culture between like kids and their parents is really like this weird thing where, because adults are afraid of basically appearing as if they don't know everything, like particularly here in the United States. I've met a lot of parents, and my parents also as well, seem to basically have this thing of going, well, you just don't talk to your kids about stuff. You just don't share these things. They just listen to you. You don't teach your kid to question you. You don't try to engage with your kid. Your kid is weird. And
Or
it's
your
like,
kid
but
is a
you're
different-
freaking weird. What the hell are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I've talked about it before where I got in arguments with people who had children and were really like, no, if you just spank your kids, they'll get what they did wrong. And I'm like, no,
One of
kids
the
get
things-
better at basically avoiding basically being abused. Most kids never, ever, and in fact they've done studies about it, do not comprehend why they've been hit.
Or if they do, they comprehend why they've been hit, and that they will not let you see what they've done. Basically what it is you get this culture of, so I've seen many, many, many stories, if you want to call it like a Reddit type of thing, but basically I've seen them in other places too, of going, basically here was my defense against my parent, and going, my parent walked in and I was doing fill in the blank. My parent walked in and this thing was happening. My parent caught me doing whatever. And they say, and then they, either hit me or, screamed at me or punished me in some way with a timeout or, grounding or whatever. They said, don't let me ever catch you doing that again. And they say, and I never let them catch me ever again.
Yep.
And what you're doing is you're stopping yourself from ever getting to know your child. If you say you cannot ever do this, and that's the end of the conversation, you're not going, hey, why were you doing this?
Right.
Or, hey, what's motivating this? If your child is into something that you don't agree with, if you have a friend that's into something you don't agree with, and you feel that you have a position of power over them, or that's part of your relationship, or your relationship partner, whatever it is, there's a person in your life and you're going, I don't agree with this thing, you can't do it.
Right.
Going, ask them why they're doing it. Maybe they don't even know.
Right.
I would say, anyway, 4 years old. I feel like what they're just trying to do, like, despite all of that discourse and all of that possible depth, I feel like they're just trying to make Luke look incompetent so Lily
Yeah.
can fix it. I feel like that's what it is.
Because again,
and that bothers me. Because what makes a good romance in the heteronormative fandom that I am familiar with is he has problems and she fixes them.
Because again, like he's only seemed like he's got a lot of motivation because Lily's been around, which is bothersome.
She has relationship or financial problems and he fixes them. He has personality problems and she fixes them. She has economic problems and he fixes them.
So you're saying that we have a... If this was put in a different way, this could be, Mr. Grey?
Yes, except for, it's the, but he doesn't have the financial fix, so it doesn't usually go both ways.
Right.
In the heteronormative fandom that I'm familiar with, which is just basically hetero romance novels,
but then that causes its own
is
problems.
this experience of going, usually the way people ship them that I've seen, even in a lot of fan fiction, it's one has a type of, one has power and the other does not.
Right.
So you have the man having a kind of power that he can then basically sort of gift to the woman by way of being attached to him. She has his financial power, even functionally.
He graciously reaches out his hand.
Even if she doesn't have it socially, she doesn't have his business power, but she has access to all of his wealth and his prestige because he can take her with him. And then the other way going, he is a social mess. It doesn't matter what his other criteria are, but he's desirable in some way, usually for being sexy or being dad and being sexy, but he is a mess and he doesn't understand things, and I will parent and raise him, which is how we fall in love. But it's not framed that way. It's not framed as though she is raising the man.
How much basically we tell women to infantilize men or be okay with basically men who have more or less been taught basically not to have very constructive or very communicative or very, what I would call more mature or adult relationships.
But anyone being attracted to each other so they can fix the other person, and that's their romantic interest, rather than going, hey, I really like you, we get along really well. Also, it seems like you have some challenges. Is there something I can help you with?
Right.
Or going, it seems like you keep bringing up this certain problem over and over again. Do you want to talk about it in more depth or in a way that might actually be a solution?
Dad of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. Paint the sports car with a bucket of house paint.
Please, oh God. So y'all need to realize that car paint and house paint are wildly goddamn different things, and I have seen a couple of cars in my life that are covered in house paint, and you just kind of go,
oh God.
Whoa,
God.
my dude.
Okay, I'm like, what he's gonna do is carefully scoot around under the sheet with a paintbrush, painting in each area and letting it dry, and then laying the tarp back down so he can scoot to the next area and paint it.
I think
while it's stuck in the garage with the door not being raised because he cannot pull it out of there or open the garage.
You know what I feel bad about though too? It's like I'm having this weird experience also too. As far as I can tell, so Karen seems to be pushing back obviously in some way to me, at least on an idea of basically gender experience, right? So sorry, because I read ahead going like Army Green, right? And Luke keeps trying to seemingly shove her into a girl, basically archetype / stereotype.
I'll get you a pink bike. You like flowers,
I
right?
get you that pink cute thing, and I'm sure, for sure you could still argue that, the play set isn't pink, kind of thing. But there's still some of that, though, that keeps sort of casually coming up, and it's weird for me, where I'm like, do you really just, kids do not come up with shit out of nowhere. People who do that, who do that all the time, I'm like, I feel like when I've seen a lot of parents who go, God, I just don't know where my kid came up with this thing. I'm like, it sounds like basically you haven't been around your kid very much. What? It's like, it sounds like you haven't had the time.
A lot of connection to your kid.
Which is okay, but also recognizing then going you've possibly been working a lot, which you might also need to do because we are so bad in the United States about, hi, by the way, our minimum wage doesn't actually pay for our lives, kind of thing.
But it can be something as simple as recognizing that the reason you don't know that about your kid is because you haven't spent time with them, and you do not have to change the way you're doing things, but if you want a different experience with them, now is a chance to try and start that.
Right?
And going, either realize, hey, the lifestyle I'm living isn't letting me know my kid very well, and going, maybe I'd like to change that, or going, oh, that's okay, but God, just don't talk about that in front of me, because eventually you're going to move out and you can do that on your own.
Right.
And whatever that is, you can develop those different relationship standards. You don't have to be like, God, where did that come from? I just don't understand, and then just be angry about it with no action.
Right.
You can take an action.
Yeah, well, because part of the thing is I feel like another reason I jumped ahead is because she's going to say Army Green, and he's going to go, no, I should paint it pink.
For,
for some
you or something. All right, let's see.
You should paint a cool color, like Army Green. Huh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay, that's fascinating. Can you imagine him trying to paint, just painting the front of it next to the tarp?
I guess yellow isn't bad.
He really won't listen to her. We're really just going, he's not listening to her.
Yeah.
The yellow's fine. Yellow is a sports car color.
Yeah, why not? It's just gonna look like another sports car.
Yep. I'm just staring at this going, how do you paint a car while it's under a tarp halfway in a garage?
How do you not paint a car?
Well, I say, if you haven't been painting your cars while they're under a tarp halfway
You've
in a
been
garage,
missing out.
parked halfway in and out of a garage like a cat that can't decide where it wants to go, you are doing it wrong. Are you guys having fun? Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Rach. What do you think about this new paint job?
Yeah. It looks nice, but I liked the color before, too. What's the rush to repaint it? It also looked in perfectly good red condition.
Yeah, it was fine. Oh, she's finally figured it out.
She's like, wait, were you fixing this up for
those
me?
were her colors?
Did you buy
Was
it?
that really, those 3 choices are her colors?
Are things she would like? I don't know.
My fucking God.
I assume. The dotted one was super weird.
That was super weird.
Did you buy it to fix it up for me?
That was the plan, originally. Yeah. It sounds like what he wants is he just wants a mature relationship. All he wants is to have a relationship with another adult, and he does not want to be a dad.
He doesn't want parenting and a dad. He just wants to have basically a live-in friend that you can, enjoy things with.
Or eventually, yeah, just be sexually involved. I have a friend with benefits, basically.
Yeah.
That seems like what he would prefer to have. Because as far as I can tell, their relationship, now granted, they've been through a lot of stressors, and now I don't know how long either they have been going through a divorce or
not,
whatever it's been, but I'm like, it sounds like they've had very goddamn different priorities, and I'm like, going, what the hell was your relationship ever like? Like, Lily, I could see basically getting bowled over by her ex initially,
Right.
like going like he went, you're basically a soft, squishy thing that I can I have a predatory relationship with.
I can predate.
I can predate upon you. And this one's like, did she really just go, you seem like a rough guy, like where I've had basically more of a privileged kind of background, like that I would guess, and that he's the, the more rough guy,
And it was kind of charming, kind of hot, kind of cute.
I did this sort of more racy, scandalous
And
thing.
also, you get me to relax and chill out a little bit because you're more easygoing and I'm very uptight, and that's kind of good, and then it gets too much.
Yes.
Like, I don't know where they relate
And then
to each
also
other.
that thing about going, again, I didn't have context until I became more of an adult and actually had to do stuff myself and went, oh my God, you are completely unstable in terms of a relationship. Like a long-lasting, good, like communicative...
What my priorities are and what helps me get through my adult life, you cannot provide.
Which is that. I should probably not put that because that was definitely my value, so I apologize for that. Because Rachel could have had very different, basically, priorities.
It's whatever my personal priorities are. There's no right way or wrong way to do a relationship if the two of you if it is working for you.
Right.
Like, at all. And the thing but what basically breaks down is going, whatever it was she needed to succeed in her adult life, and whatever it was he needed, the two of them were not able to accomplish it together.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want to take that.
Here we
All
go.
Luke, that's what you've been doing out here.
I know.
Always focused on the wrong big
You didn't
thing.
want a child. You wanted a baby, potentially, and then never thought of them ever growing up. These are my children. They are always together. They're always this age, and they will always never need these
This is
things.
my child. They are a piece of the house and the world that I am creating to be a successful adult.
And if
that
they-
has the job, has the wife, has the kid, has the dog.
And if they ever grow up or ever change, then I need something, usually another child, to replace that. Another baby. Because once you get past a certain age, you're no longer my child. You're a weird, annoying kid who's in my fucking way all the time.
I say, my friend is getting very aggressive and personal about
I
this. And,
apologize.
I
It's
have
fine.
some different opinions in this sort of way. But basically,
I've
there
seen that
can
before,
be
is what
an
that-
experience of parenting has not worked out well for you, and you haven't known what resources to approach, and you haven't known what approach to take, and it has made your marriage even harder than it was. And depending on how long they were married, she might have gotten pregnant right away, or even before the marriage. They might have gotten married because of the pregnancy. Like, we have no connection to how they started, who they were, what their choices were, how they got together, what their challenges have been. What I've got is a writer basically going, here's your kind of, cranky and judgmental ex-wife, even though she's trying to be a good person, and here's your completely tone-deaf, disconnected dude who's basically going through a midlife crisis. That's all I've got from the writers.
Yeah, and that's true.
Huh.
Trying not to be.
Damn. Oh God. You're literally gonna do your own, like, sign dancer kind of thing out here instead of fixing your yard?
Yep.
Honey, 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 sail.
Honey, 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 sail. Honey, 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 sail. Arr. I am
Honey
dog?
sail, honey sail dog. I mean, Roxy. There are no cars driving by ever
Oh my God,
anywhere.
and you're again going to fix this.
What?
Please stop putting...
Why would Lily fix this? Again, unless they're basically trying to write an extremely truncated version of, the guy cannot connect. Here's a woman who has a natural instinct for exactly what him and his child need together for whatever reason, and is going to fix this and thereby insinuate it into the family because she has fixed the problem with the dad and the child.
Someone who seems to be a heavily damaged and abused person herself, which is why I was mentioning going like,
It
okay,
sounds
so I can
very
see
strange.
Lily in her shitty situation. I'm fucking, what the hell? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just really annoyed. Anyway,
So,
thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And if you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Please feel free to also go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We got some links down below, and I have been Scandal.
And please take care of yourselves out there. That was a lot of opinions. That was a lot of like personal like exposition right there. And again, just it feels like the story is handling a very complex topic in a very shallow and stereotypy kind of way, and that's where I'm having some trouble connecting here. But it's been lovely having you along. Take care of yourself indoors during the great coronavirus.
Absolutely.
And it was great. Oh, and I have been Lies.
And it was
great
great playing with you.
Bye.